Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Looplearnings, and in this video, this is video number 18, and in this video I'm going to talk about some modifications that I wish to do. And this particular feature I forgot to add. Well, should I say forgot? Yeah, okay, technically yes, I forgot. And the reason why I'm saying I forgot is because there are two separate channels through which the order is being placed. So if it is when it comes to inventory management, I'm talking about, so because in inventory management we have to track what stock is on order, what stock is in transit, what stock is in different stages of the supply chain. So if until we don't know the stage of this within the supply chain, we will not be able to track the accurate inventory. So to track the accurate inventory, we have to collect information for each part. So each item, if there is a PO created for one item and then there is a stock order created for the same item, we need to fetch both set of information, and then based on both set of information we need to actually create some queries in order to create the inventory management database. So there's a lot going on. You can see there are two different channels. For example, there is one is purchase order. So a location can create purchase order to procure parts, and then the same location can create the stock transfer order to procure to get the item from another location. In both cases there will be two set of information, as I mentioned earlier. So I wanted to demonstrate this not offline but online. I want to demonstrate with you guys. If in case you are following me, then please make this change as well. I don't know whether it is going to be correct change or incorrect change, but we will see later on down the line. I'm hoping that everything will go well with this change. Anyway, before I get started, I must say that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do that. Hit the bell icon so you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. And if you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, I would strongly recommend you to do that, and that you will be able to do it by getting the link from the description below. The second aspect of this video is that I want to double click here and I want to open the respective purchase order so I can make changes. These are the two things we are going to do. Let's handle the elephant in the room, and that is creating another table, and that is called inventory table, which will be used to fetch the information from both stock transfer orders and purchase orders and store it in one table, so we can refer to that table when we are making the structure and queries for inventory management. I don't know whether you have understood what I'm saying or not. If not, if you haven't understood, don't worry, just stick with me, just stick around and watch what I'm doing. Hopefully you will understand. Okay, so I'm going to go design view. Let's close these two. So we're going to create a new table, and this table would be called inventory. Okay, and in here we'll say inventory ID created on, okay, so date and time. Let's have a short date in here. Then I want location ID, so which location is creating this particular record. That's also very important. Then I want which document is being used. Is it PO? Is it stock transfer order? I want to fetch that info, store that information. And if there is either of the document, what is the document number, right? What is the document number? All right, and then after that, let's open this PO table. After that, I want to get the information such as product ID, variant ID. That's the information. then item name SKU, and then quantity. Oops, let's make it in numbers, and then status date. Okay, so there is another table, stock transfer. So the idea is that any record which is being created either for stock transfer table or for the purchase order table, all these two records should come and sit here in this table, and this table will be used for inventory management, as I explained earlier. So it's very important that we only have one touch point where we all go every time we want to run a query to check the inventory management status. So that's where we want things to go, and from here, with the reference of this table, we will create the different queries for stock on order, stock in transit, stock back order, stock whatsoever, right? So we will refer to this. Now every time either PO is saved, order is placed, it is marked in transit, order is received, or is it back order, every time any of these buttons are clicked, I want to update this table as well with this respective information. How do we achieve this? Well, we have done this quite a lot of time. In previous videos you have seen that we use record sets to get this information in the table. So that's how we are going to do it. So first I'm going to go and click on save button, and in here, to use the record set, what we'll do, we will create a variable called dim inventory as record set. Okay, then I will go down here in the file and I will say okay. So please watch when I'm doing it, because I'm not going to write the same code again, and the reason for that is because for every single button the code will remain same, there will be nothing changed. So please watch carefully what I am doing, and then you can see that later on in this video I'm going to do a lot of copy pasting. All right, so let's set the variable. So set inventory is equal to current db dot open a record set. What is the record set name? Well, it's table name inventory. Okay, then what I want to do is I want to get this information. I want to create a new record. So inventory dot add new, and then inventory exclamation mark, first thing first, created on, okay, is equal to now. So the date and time when the record in the table is being created. Then location ID, so inventory exclamation mark location ID is equal to me dot location ID. Okay, and we are getting this information from PO form. Remember that. Reference document, inventory exclamation mark reference document, and the reference document is PO. And we'll go here, inventory exclamation mark document number, and that would be PO line ID. Then we'll get product ID, inventory product ID, and we can see on the PO form there is a combo box called product ID. So from this combo box we will fetch the product ID. So me dot product ID dot column. So why column? Because it's a combo box and the product ID resides in column number 0. of the product ID. Similarly, we are going to do with the variant. So I need to be very careful to use the correct spellings. Variant ID is equal to me dot variant ID. Okay, then what is the next field? Item name. So inventory exclamation mark item name is equal to me dot item name. Then we have SKU, exclamation mark SKU is equal to me dot SKU. Then we have quantity, me dot. Okay, so this time for PO we will get the order quantity here, order quantity, because at this stage the order is being ready. People are making the order ready in order to place the order to the supplier. So therefore order quantity. Okay, then we will have what else? Status. So inventory exclamation mark status is equal to me dot status. So whatever the status of the PO form, that would be captured. Inventory exclamation mark status state is equal to what? Well, is equal to now. After we captured everything, we need to update the table. Okay, all right, cool. So let's add perhaps a note here to add a record in inventory table. It's always better to have these kind of notes. Okay, so this works. This is nice. Now we haven't tested it yet, so hopefully it will work. Let's now move on to the next button. So next button is place order. So this also we want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the code. This is what I said. Please make sure that you pay attention to the code that I'm writing, because now I'm going to just do copy and paste just to save your and my time. All right, so place order will go here, and in here I'm going to paste. The entire code will remain exactly the same, the way you have seen it just a couple of moments ago. Only thing we need to do is to declare the variable. Okay, oops. All right, so that's what we need to do, but other than that, no issues at all. In transit, here also let's first declare the variable. Okay, then in here we will add this code. Perfectly fine. Debug it. Then receive. In here, this will be a little bit tricky because we already have two variables created, two set of different codes to update two different tables. So now we are adding the third one. So it will be interesting. Okay, nonetheless. Okay, so in here, let's update the record in inventory table. Now here we have to be a little bit careful. So here we are actually receiving the stock, so we are not ordering. So when we are receiving the stock, we need to focus on receive quantity, not as much as the order quantity. In order to capture the information, we need to focus on receive quantity. So I just need to change this here. That's it. That's it. That's the only change required. So now I will move on to if the status is greater than, if the received quantity is greater than, then here as well I need to rotate. Okay, nicely. If it is equal to, then all right, cool. Okay, so we're done with that. Then we have back order button, and in here as well we need to declare the variable. Okay, variable is declare. We need to paste it. So in here we are not focused on receive because we haven't received any item yet. So what we are going to do is we are going to focus on order quantity here for this particular. So me dot order quantity. All right, so the coding part is done. Now it's time to test whether this will work or not. So I'm going to sign in inventory management purchase. Okay, so PO type standard, catalog electronics. I have only one product, one variant, one supplier at the moment. Let's say we order 11 pieces, and fingers crossed, let's hope that everything goes well and data is captured wherever it is required to be captured. So let's click on save button. All right, seems to be working. Now let's move on. Let's approve it. Let's create an order to supplier. Actually, order is already created, but let's proceed with to the supplier for the order. There you go. Now let's mark it as in transit for received. Okay, quantity, very good. So quantity, let's say we are receiving everything whatever we placed the order, and this is the reference number. Let's click on received. Cool. And now if I click on back order, it should not work technically, and it doesn't work. So that's great. Okay, now what I want to do is, so this also works, is to check the table, particularly the inventory table, whether the information that we have just created is recorded there or not. And rest assured, it is recorded. So all the respective information has been recorded. So PO is created, PO number 6 is created, then stock on order, stock in transit, GRN. So full cycle of the supply chain is captured, is mentioned here. So that is great. This is what I wanted to achieve with this particular video, because this is very important, and this table is going to be referred very frequently whenever we are talking about inventory management. So that's why it was very important for us to create it, and it was very important for me to show you in the video itself. Now the last part remaining is basically the opening the purchase order from this by clicking on this particular list box. So that we will achieve by having a code on double click event. Okay, so in here let me copy the error handling first. So on error, resume next. All right, so if me.txt now me.value is equal to PO, then do cmd.open form. Which form we want to open? Well, we want to open PO. Oops, what have I done? Comma, 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 where condition. Where condition is important. So we'll say PO line it equal to ampersand me dot list op dot column number 0 we want to see, and then end if. That's it. Okay, so let's test that out. So go here, login, entry, purchase order. Let's double click here. Boom. So peer is opening. That is great. Okay, cool. So it is working well. That is really good to know. And this is what I wanted to show. I hope that you have learned something in this video. Even if you have not, please do let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do that. Hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you very much for supporting. Keep supporting, keep watching, and I will see you in the next one.